Welcome to Light Inside Yoga. This is Nikki Sakariccia, and today I've prepared a mixed style flow class. You'll need a couple blocks, a blanket, a couple big bed pillows, or a bolster pillow. Take a moment to get rid of any distractions in your environment, including disconnecting from your phone, email, other people. Make sure that your Apple Watch is turned to theater mode. And then lie on your back. Coming into constructive rest pose, have your feet on the floor wide apart. Drop the knees together so they're touching. And rest your hands on your abdomen to begin touching base with your physical self. The physical body is always in the present moment, and we want to begin bringing the mind into the body. When you feel grounded enough, open the arms wide. Extend the legs straight down. And take a couple big breaths, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose or mouth, connecting to the sensation of breathing. Like the body, the breath always exists in the present moment. Allow the mind to become absorbed with this, interested and curious about the breath itself. Long inhale through the nose. Feel the lungs stretch and the ribs expand. Take slow, deep exhales. It's normal for the first few rounds of deep breath to feel limited or restricted. The body will get used to breathing deeply enough. Now pull the right knee in towards your chest. Wrap your hands around your knee. And begin to roll out the ankle, nice and slow, turning it in both directions a few times. Once the ankle feels more clear, take your hands to the back of your thigh. And as you inhale, straighten the leg up. Breathing out, bend the knee. Inhale to straighten. Exhale to bend. Inhale to lift. Exhale, bend. Point your toes. Flex your foot and straighten the leg. Bend the knee, point your foot. Flex, extend. Hold the extension. Begin to push your thigh towards your hands. It's okay to have a little bend in the knee, especially if this part of your body feels tight. You can even pulse the knee a little bit, warming up the back of the leg if it feels really tight. Take one more slow breath in. And with your exhale, release the right leg straight down. Notice any difference so far. Long breath in through your nose. Slow breath out. Moving into side two. Pull the left knee in. Squeeze knee to chest. And begin to roll out your ankle. Become aware of any subtle or obvious sensations as you move the body. Slow the breath to slow the mind. Then take your hands to the back of the thigh, and as you inhale, straighten it up. As you exhale, bend the knee. Do this a few times. This action starts to prepare the legs for more dynamic movement and helps to hydrate the joints. Really important if you tend to feel stiff or you get a lot of cracking and popping in the joints. Add in a pointed foot and a flexed foot, pointing as you bend the knee, flexing as you extend the leg straight. Hold the leg up the next time it's extended and add that micro bend pulse to the knee, or hold the leg straight up for a couple of breaths. Stay connected to what you're feeling in the body, using sensation as a gateway inward. Take one more full breath in. And as you're exhaling, release the legs straight down. Now lift the arms overhead. Take a full body stretch, fingertips to toes. Breathe deeply in through your nose. Yawn or exhale out loud through the mouth. Then pull the knees into your chest. Scoot your hips a little bit to the left and drop your knees to the right. Taking an easy twist here. Stack the hips. Open the right arm onto the floor and stretch the left arm out wide as well. As you exhale, close the left palm on top of the right, and then sweep overhead with the left arm like you're drawing a rainbow. Close on the exhale, sweep overhead and around on the inhale. Exhale to close, palm over palm. Inhale to sweep around. Do this 3 more times, connecting your breath to your movement, synchronizing them. You may find it easier to create this big articulated movement in the shoulder and spine by lifting your head up a little bit. That's especially true if you walk around with a lot of neck tension. Now, bring the legs back through center and adjust your hips to the right. Both knees fall to your left, stacking one hip above the other. Arms start opened wide. As you exhale, close right palm on top of left. Sweep overhead, coming back to that starting position. The exhales help you roll, and the inhales help you sweep. Move with your breath mindfully for just a couple more rounds. Let your gaze follow your thumb, helping to articulate the neck and the connection of your gaze to the body. Take 2 more rounds here. Find your deepest range of motion that you can without struggling to create it. Then stay rolled to your side and press yourself up from there. Take a seat with your legs crossed in a way that feels good to you. If you have a block or pillow close by, you might like to put that underneath your sits bones, propping up the hips. This often helps to relax the lower back from its more compressed state. Make any intuitive adjustments so that you feel more comfortable. And then lift the spine up. We'll begin to explore the breath a little bit and how it helps us to twist. Bring your hands around the base of your side ribs, finding your natural waistline. Press the palms against the side ribs as if they were a corset, narrowing your waistline. You may find it easier to wrap the hands backwards, like when you have a backache. Squeeze in, and as you inhale, use the breath to push the ribs wide apart. As you exhale, connect to the feeling of the waistline narrowing. Stay mindful of that feeling of contracting in the waistline. Bring your palms together. And on your next exhale, when you're naturally taut through the waist, twist to your right. Make sure you're only twisting from the rib cage and not from the seat. Breathe in through center and try twisting in the other direction as you exhale. So just the rib cage rotates. Try it again. Exhale to twist. Inhale, returning to center. Try it one more time. Cinching the natural waistline helps us to engage our oblique muscles, the side waistline core. When these muscles are strong and supple, we don't create as much lower back and shoulder tension. We don't end up recruiting muscles that don't actually need to work. Explore this for another moment on your own. And sometimes placing your hands on your body can really reinforce what's happening inside. When you feel like you've got a handle on it, bring your hands onto the floor behind you or just your fingertips and widen through the chest. Take a deep breath in, squeeze your shoulder blades together. And as you exhale, let them separate. This action is called scapular retraction or shoulder blade movement. I'm showing it here with the arms straight out in front. As you exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and as you inhale, spread them apart. You can see in my body the shoulder blades are literally sliding around my back ribs. It's pretty normal for the first few rounds of that to feel stiff or gummed up, but with practice, all of the muscles get more warmed and hydrated, and it starts to really feel like a gliding action. All right, let's come off of the seat and onto hands and knees. Have your 2 blocks set up near the front edge of your mat. And if you'd like some extra support for the knees, place a blanket or something like it down to pad up the kneecaps. We'll start in table pose. Set the hands as wide as your shoulders, spread the fingers completely apart, and press down through the 4 corners of your palms, finger knuckles, and finger pads. Create a very clear connection of your hands to the floor. And then start into those shoulder blade push-ups again. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and then widen them apart. It may look like I'm moving my spine here, but it's just an optical illusion. I'm really just moving my shoulder blades. Make sure the shoulder blades are going towards each other and then apart, not up towards your ears and then down. We're actually trying to undo that hunching in the shoulders that usually happens. Start to roll the shoulders in big loops, churning the energy of the upper back. And as that starts to feel better, freestyle. Move the spine through cat and cow, undulate the upper back, wiggle the waistline and the tail. Really, as long as it feels weird, you're doing well. If it feels too familiar, reach a little farther out of your comfort zone movement-wise. You might need to open up the neck a little bit. All right, take just one more moment freestyling, and then we'll meet in child's pose, taking a grounded moment to integrate all of that action so far. All right, come back up into table pose with your toes curled under. Setting up for a bit of core engagement, press down into your palms, and as you exhale, lift your knees 1 inch from the ground for floating table pose. Keep your breath steady here. Try not to adjust the spine, the elbows, or the knees. As you exhale, lift the hips, press back through downward facing dog. Beginning to build a little bit of heat here. Keep a little bend to the knees. Hips high, arms straight and strong. As you exhale, come forward into floating table pose. Keep the hips there. Inhale, straighten your legs for plank. Exhale, floating table pose. Inhale, straight legs for plank. Exhale, float. Do this a few more times. Try not to pike your hips or adjust the shoulders. Keep them directly over the wrists. You're just adjusting the knees. Exhale into child's pose. Take deep breaths to recover. In through the nose and out through the nose. Final moment here. Then rise up, all fours, right back into down dog. Pull the hips way up and back. Keep the spine long and neutral. Lift high off your heels. As you exhale, lower the heels. Inhale, roll off the heels to the tiptoes. Take a long step forward with your left foot and bring the right knee down. Point your back toes. Breathing in, straighten your front leg for half splits. As you exhale, lunge forward. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Flex your foot off the floor. Exhale, bend into the front knee. You could be on fingertips here or hands on your blocks. Exhale to lunge. Curl the back toes and sweep the arms up for low lunge pose. As you exhale, bend the elbows down towards your sides. Inhale, sweep the arms forward, up and overhead. Exhale, bend the elbows deep. Find that sweeping motion we did earlier on the floor here. Then let the arms open wide by your sides. Lift your chest, lift your sternum. On your next inhale, sweep the arms up and exhale, palms to the floor. Lift the back knee and step backwards through downward facing dog. Slow the breath here. And step your right foot forward. Lower the left knee down. As you inhale, lift the arms way up. Bend the elbows wide into cactus, straighten the arms down by your sides, sweep up, and repeat a few more times, connecting breath to movement, articulating the shoulder, continuing to warm the upper back muscles. Pull the sternum forward and up towards your chin, increasing the back bend. Next, inhale, sweep the arms up for Anjaneyasana, low lunge pose. Breathing out, palms touch the floor. Curl the back toes. Inhale, straighten your front leg. Exhale, bend the front knee. Gliding in and out of half splits pose. Warming up the back of the thigh, hip flexors. Slide back on your inhale, toes are flexed away from the floor. Exhale, lunge, curl the back toes, and step backwards to downward facing dog. Slow breath in through your nose. As you exhale, step your left foot forward. Keep the back knee off the floor, and you might put a block underneath your right hand. Beginning to twist. As you exhale, narrowing the waistline, rotate your chest slightly to the left. You could put your left hand on your side ribs again, remembering through the body that micro adjustment. Make sure you're not twisting the hips, letting them fall down too far to the right. As you inhale, extend the left arm up, stacking wrist above wrist, shoulder above shoulder. Then begin to draw giant circles with the left arm. Imagine you are the hands of a clock and rotate. Bring the left hand down and step back through down dog. Micro bend your knees and lift your hips up away from your wrists. We'll try that sequence on the other side. As you exhale, step your right foot forward into runner's lunge. You could put a block under your left hand. Stack your right palm on top of your right thigh and push down to begin rotating your spine. Keep the right hip in line with your knee, tracking behind it, rather than letting it sway out to the side. Sometimes that will happen if your hips are really tight. Keep the rotation coming from the waistline. From there, extend the arms straight up, shoulder above shoulder. Take a big loop with the arm as you inhale and another as you exhale. Rotating through the shoulder socket, hydrating the lining of the shoulder. Release it down. Step back into downward facing dog. As you inhale, lift your heels all the way up and then take one long step forward on each side. Fold in at the front edge of your mat. As you inhale, lift halfway. Lengthen the middle of the back. Breathing out, bend the knees and roll yourself up, bone by bone. Loop the shoulders back. Find your way here in mountain pose. As you inhale, lift the arms up and overhead. Breathing out, palms glide down past the heart. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up, extended mountain pose. Exhale, palms through the heart center. Inhale to lift. Exhale, palms through the heart. Inhale, lift up. On the exhale, chair pose. Inhale, lift back up, strong straight legs. Exhale, chair flow, sit back. Extend, breathing in. Sit back, breathing out. Inhale up. Little change here. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale, twist left. You'll bend the knees a little bit on the exhale, so you avoid torquing them. Inhale moves you through center. Exhale, straight down chair pose. Keep the front ribs knitted in so you're not in a back bend here. From here, twist to your right. Sit back into your heels. See if you can turn a little bit more from there. You might end up binding here, left elbow to the top of the right thigh. Press down into your right hand. And then let it go. Palms to the floor of your blocks for forward fold. As you inhale, lift halfway. Breathing out, fold all the way down. Take palms to the back of your calf muscles and press your forehead towards your shins. Deeper variation there. And then release it. Inhale, lift all the way up. Exhale, palms to the heart. Inhaling, lift up. Breathing out, palms through the heart space. One more time, lift, opening the chest. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, stand up straight and strong. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, center on straight legs. Little bend to the knees as you twist to the right. Back and forth. You don't have to move fast, just move fluidly. Inhale, center. Exhale, straight down chair pose. Sink into the heels, press your hips back. As you rotate, twist from the mid-spine. Right elbow to the top of your left thigh. Pivot the spine to your left. Push down from your left palm into the right. Maybe you gain another centimeter of rotation. Don't force anything though. Release it and fold forward. As you inhale, lift halfway. Breathe out, deep forward fold, palms to the back of your calf muscles. Sandwich your forehead to your shin bones. Let the shoulders roll back away from the ears. Breathe steady. On your next inhale, lift all the way up, buoyantly up. Exhale, palms to the heart space. Inhale, lift. Exhale, folds. Half lift on the inhale. Palms to the ground. Step back with the right foot. Step back with the left foot, downward facing dog. Little bend to the knees. Floating table pose, breathe in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bend the knees. Float in table, shoulders above wrists. Exhale, downward facing dog. Try that again. Forward for floating table. Downward facing dog from there. Ground in through your heels. Strong, straight arms. Step your right foot forward. Step your left foot forward. Breathing out, release the spine into forward fold pose. Rise through standing, rolling up the spine. Loop the shoulders back. Interlace your fingers. Draw your fists down towards your heels. Pull the sternum up. Strong inhale here. Let your thigh bones press forward. Breathing out, come to neutral. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, swan dive down, forehead to shins. Half lift as you arrive, breathing in. Fold forward to release. Rise through standing all the way up. Exhale, chair pose. Open arm twist to the right, knees are deeply bent. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist left. Inhale, center. Breathing out, twist to your right. Inhale, center. Twist left. Inhale, center. Sit back for chair, reach the arms forward, and then sweep them back like airplane arms. Little balance here, lift your heels. Keep your gaze steady even as you wobble. Squeeze between the inner thighs to contain your alignment and let it go. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Step your left foot back. Step your right foot back. Downward facing dog. Slow breath in. Exhale. Hands and knees. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, push up. You could keep your knees down here as a modification. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, push up. If you're using blocks, you want to turn them to the flat or middle setting so that as you come down through your push-up, the shoulders land to the blocks and not the floor. Let the hips drop, Lift your chest for cobra. Could be an up dog here. Breathing out, downward facing dog. Coming forward to plank pose. Breathing out, chaturanga dandasana. Point your toes, lift your hips, strong straight arms. Exhale, tuck toes and press back. Downward facing dog. From there, step forward, coming to the front of your mat in forward fold pose. Try turning your hands upside down so the palms face up. Press down into the back of the hands to help open up your forearm and wrist muscles. Release that, palms grounded. Take a forward fold. Rise on your inhale. Breathing out, palms come back to the heart center. Sit back into chair and we'll try it again. Sweep your arms back into airplane pose. Lift your heels for tiptoe pose. As you exhale, release back into chair. Twist to your right, binding elbow to knee. Stay for the inhale. Lift the left heel, and then step back for a twisted runner's lunge. Breathing in, sweep up into crescent pose. Circle the arms back. Find your footing, grounded and steady. Breathing in, sweep your arms up. As you exhale, palms to the floor, step back to down dog. Come forward to plank and exhale, lower down through your vinyasa. Step forward. Lift yourself halfway up. Fold the hands upside down. Fold in half. Little bend to the elbows is totally fine here. Release palms to the floor and rise on your inhale. We'll try that on side two. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, chair. Twist to your left. Bind the right elbow. Keep the knees tethered together. Even if they're not touching, keep them parallel. Lift your right heel to hover, and breathing out, step back. Land. Breathing in, untwist, crescent pose, arms straight up. Ground in through both feet. Circle the arms down by your sides or interlace them behind your back. The important thing is to keep the chest open and to keep your breath deep and steady. Breathing out, palms to the floor, step back to downward facing dog. Inhale, forward plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, tuck toes for downward facing dog. You could play with lifting and lowering the heels if the feet feel cramped or the calf muscles feel tight. Otherwise, ground in for another moment, steadying the breath. One long step on each side or many little steps forward towards the back of your wrists. Fold at the front edge of your mat. Half lift arriving. Deep breath folding. In this deep version of forward fold, you really want to favor the front edge of the folds. As you come up, bring weight into your heels. Find your way into mountain pose. Bring your feet closer together. Inner big toes touch. Keep a wedge of space between your heels. As you inhale, lift your arms up. Keep the spine strong and neutral. As you exhale, lift your heels for palm tree pose. Press down into your toes as you lift the heels. Keep your feet very active. Breathing out, release palms to the heart, heels to the floor. Sit back into chair pose when you're ready. Step your left foot back and sweep the arms up, crescent pose. Breathing out, open arm twist to your right. Keep the right hip hugged in behind the knee. Right hand to your back thigh, left arm up. Breathing out, open to warrior two. Reversed warrior pose here. Big breath in. Exhale, right elbow to thigh, left arm up and overhead. Modified extended side angle pose. Breathing out, Skandasana, side lunge pose. Bend into the left knee. You could keep your hands on the ground to help with balance. Then shift towards the front of your mat and step back, downward facing dog. We'll set up now for a funky kind of side plank. Come forward into plank. Tilt your heels to the left. Bend your knees and tap your outer hip to the floor. On your next exhale, twist to the other side. Inhale, plank. Exhale, funky twisted plank. Inhale, center. Exhale, side two. Press back to down dog. Ground in. Lift your heels. Many little steps forward. Try to keep your hips lifting away from your armpits. Breathing out, fold. Ground through the heels. Forehead towards your shins. Palms pressed hard against the back of your calf muscles. On your inhale, rise all the way up buoyantly. Exhale, palms to the heart. Use the natural heat that the body experiences to fuel your movement. Keep your breath calm and steady. Breathing in, lift your heels for palm tree pose. Exhale, settle back down. If balancing is a bit challenging for you, you could keep your palms in front of your chest. You could also go hands to the hips. Let's try it again. On the inhale, lift your heels. Press down into your toes. Palm tree pose. Squeeze the inner knees, just like we do in chair. Breathing out, let it go. Samastitihi, palms to the heart. Breathing in, Urdhva Hastasana, lift the arms. Exhale, fold. Ground the palms. Step your left foot back. Inhale, lift up, crescent pose. Exhale, hands to the ground, step forward. Step your right foot back. Sweep the arms, crescent. Big breath in. Open arm twist to your left. Reverse that left hand to your right thigh, right arm up into the air. Dynamic transition. As you exhale, warrior two. Slow breath in. Breathing out, reversed warrior pose. Slow breath in. Exhale, modified extended side angle. Left elbow to thigh, right arm up and overhead. Steady the breath and release, palms to the ground. Step back, downward facing dog. Add a little variation here. Breathing in, come forward for plank. And Vashisthasana with both hands down. As you exhale, tilt your hips and feet to one side. If you want a little variation, walk the feet as wide as your mat and stagger your feet. You'll end up on the edges of the feet. Finish there and draw back, downward facing dog. Walk your feet out to the wide edges of your mat and then walk along them to the front edge. This time, bring your hands to the side of your lower legs. Squeeze in through the lower legs. Press apart through the upper thighs. Two opposing actions at once. Let that go. Walk your feet back to center. As you inhale, lift the rest of the way up into mountain pose. Little variations now. Stay attentive and present to the moment. With the palms pressed together in front of the chest, slowly lift your heels. Once you're balanced, sweep the arms out and up for palm tree pose. Breathing out, release back into Samastitihi. From here, step your right foot back. Take the arms straight up, crescent lunge. Breathing out, palms to the floor, step back, downward facing dog. Variation of vinyasa here. Inhale, forward plank. Exhale down to the belly. Pausing here for an extended cobra pose. Roll the shoulders back, lift your chest. Press down through the tops of the thighs, toes. Roll the collarbones wide open. Breathing out, come all the way down. Push any props in front of you out of the way and lie down with your head turned to one side. You might like to bend the knees and sweep your legs side to side, releasing any tension that's gathered in the lower back. Let the full weight of the upper body drop into the floor. Take a moment to roll out your ankles if they feel stiff or tight. As you release your legs back down, set them wider than your outer hips, maybe as wide as your yoga mat. Press down into the tops of the feet and toenails, and bring the forearms out in front of you. Upper body will rest in Sphinx pose. Now, typically people have their elbows too wide here, so cross your arms, and when your fingers wrap around the back of your triceps, you know your elbows are narrow enough. Then you can set the palms flat down parallel on the ground. Press down into your elbows to unslouch the shoulders. Keep that, and then take the right leg into half frog pose. Right knee slides out onto the floor next to you. Right toes point out sideways. Now, you don't want your knee any higher than your hip crease, so if you're really flexible, contain your flexibility. Begin to press down through the inner right thigh, even though it won't actually touch the ground. Energetically make it feel heavier. Begin to slow your breath now. Keep the breath slow and slide the right leg back. And bring the left knee out sideways. Half frog pose, side two. Press away through the elbows, down through the thigh. Ground in through the upper inner left thigh. If this adds too much extension in your lower back, if it feels too compressed, anchor your pubic bone into the floor. Dig it down. Take one more breath here. And then release. Left leg goes straight back. From here, we'll move into child's pose. Take your hands in line with your chest, press up and pull your hips towards your heels. It's really important for the forehead to rest on something in child's pose. So if you're having trouble bringing your forehead onto the floor, you could stack your hands and bring your forehead on top of them, or grab one of your blocks and put that under your forehead instead. Let the arms go totally slack. You might even slide the elbows off to the side so the arms are in more of a diamond shape. Begin to let go of any tension around the corners of your eyes and your cheeks. Soften through your lips. And extend your arms straight ahead of you and walk them off to the left side. Side bending child's pose. Take a deep breath towards your right side ribs, energetically opening the space between the right armpit and hip bone. It's okay if the forehead doesn't make it to the ground in these variations. Walk your hands over to the other side. Take a deep breath towards the left side ribs, energetically opening the space between the left armpit and the left hip bone. On your next exhale, walk through center and come up onto all fours. Slide your left arm behind the right, lying on the outer left shoulder and the side of your head. From there, you can walk your right arm straight forward towards the top edge of your mat, creating a long line from your right wrist to the right hip. Breathing out, come out of it, and take side two, twisted child's pose. Tuck the right arm behind your left, slide your left arm forward, making a long line from your left wrist to the outer left hip. Continue to slow your breath. On your exhale, come up. We'll move into a restorative posture now. You'll want a rolled blanket, or you could grab a bath towel. Just pause the video for a moment to gather your things. You'll also want your 2 blocks and a bolster pillow or normal pillow. Take your blanket and from the longer edge, roll it tightly to the other long edge. You'll want a tube-shaped roll about 4.5 feet long. You'll take that roll behind you so it runs up and down the middle of your mat. From there, grab your 2 blocks and bring them out in front of you, middle or flat setting, and balance your bolster across the top. So you've basically made an ottoman for your legs. You'll bring your calf muscles out on top. Make sure your feet are dangling over the edge. As you lie down on the rolled blanket, you want it to support the better part of your spine. Keep a little gap underneath your lower back where there's no blanket. You could wiggle around a little bit to contour the blanket to the curve of your back, your neck, the back of your head. Let the arms come out to the sides or bent 90 degrees into cactus arms. If the knees want to turn out, let them. Make any other intuitive adjustments so that this feels really comfortable and supportive. And then just rest. After moving so dynamically, staying present, responsive to the different variations and the pacing of flow-based yoga, the contrast here can be pretty significant. Notice where the body is so ready to just let go and surrender. Feel the effortlessness of that. You may also notice other parts of the body that aren't really ready to let go. Places of chronic tension or overwork. Just notice those parts. With practice, everything gets easier, and we can't always expect results right away. So give yourself time. Be patient as the body heals itself and transforms. Rest here for a few more moments on your own now. I'm preparing to come out of the pose. Begin to roll out your ankles. Staying mindful of how it feels to move. Then bend the knees. And from here, roll off of the blanket onto your side into fetal pose. From here, press yourself up and clear your mat of the props. We'll move into our final pose of practice, corpse pose. Lie down on your back with nothing else beneath you. Let the arms rest to your sides, legs straight down to the floor. Again, make any intuitive adjustments to yourself, your clothing, so that you feel very comfortable. Feel the effort of the body drop, grounding, integrating the movement, the practice, the discipline to stay attentive. Allow yourself time to rest for a couple of minutes now, quieting the physical body, calming the energy body. Sitting in the seat of observation mentally. If the mind wanders, that's okay. See if you can notice the mind wandering. Let the breath go completely. And just breathe naturally. Bring awareness into your hands. Begin to rub your fingertips together. Slowly move the legs. When you're ready, roll off to your side into fetal pose. From here, find your way up to sit, crossing the legs in a way that's comfortable for you. Take a moment here in this transition, moving out of the practice, back out into the rest of the day. Notice the quality of yoga that you've come to connect with through this practice. Thank yourself for showing up for it. I thank you too. Namaste.